Gracias por esta oportunidad. Para mí es un honor que tú me brindes y que nos brinde Andrés y a Latinoamérica este espacio. Yo comienzo con una serie de televisión que la verdad sí quiero preguntarle. Nosotros somos reconsumidores de tu cine y es High Spirits. High Spirits se considera como ese boom de los estudiantes cuando intentan como que resolver misterios a través como que ¿qué pasará si de pronto, cómo será nuestra perspectiva de los estudiantes de los 90? ¿Cómo seremos nosotros? Como esos interrogantes. ¿Cuál es ese optimismo de tu cine que te generó y que recuerdas en en High Spirits?
La modificar un poco, pero dale. In Latin America, we are crazy. We don't say watching, we're consuming series, and we are the bot. We were talking before this interview, and we say we need to ask you about High Spirits. We haven't watched it, but we feel so interested in the subject. In fact, we feel that got some kind of nostalgia, and it's crazy because you know what is the project that we are going to tell next, but we feel it had the same vibe. Tell us, how do you feel working in this kind of projects, and tell us about High Spirits because we need to search for it, man.
Of course, of course. With High Spirits, I mean, that was in college when I went to Tufts University. And it was a really fun project to work on because of the writing itself was very good. Eli Lloyd wrote it, and I think it was a really fantastic series exploring this relationship with a ghost roommate. I thought it was a very novel idea. And I got to play kind of a bit of a character, he enjoys drinking beers, a little more like rowdy and doesn't really care. But at the end of the day, he still does. And it was very fun to get to film certain things where, when you're a ghost, other people might not notice you there. So it's very fun to get to act and people have to pretend like you're not there, which is very fun.
I really need to translate that because Jhon will flip out. Jhon, de hecho, lo tengo que traducir. Resumiendo, te vas a morir, men, porque trata de cómo vivir la vida. De hecho, el personaje él es bebedor. Cómo vivir la vida sabiendo que existen los fantasmas y pretender que ellos no existen. Tienes que buscarla. Y lo hizo estando en la universidad, pero continúa. Yo creo que con eso...
No, con eso yo quedo impresionado. Además,
hype.
Sí, High Spirit es para mí importante. Y también...
y hypeado. Now we got hype for High Spirits, man.
Okay. Sí, quedo yo impresionante. Quedo yo increíble. Y también quedo yo como que motivado y te quiero preguntar. No he podido ver los capítulos completos, pero sí te quiero preguntar cómo es el desenvolvimiento psicológico que lleva Tactical Girl. Tactical Girl, para mí, yo te felicito. Te felicito porque actuar con grandes, actuar con Dean Self, Matthew Clark, Julia Lynn, ¿cómo es tu experiencia como vegano, como todo?
How was your experience? And of course, like the psychological aspect, Jhon, I haven't watched it, sorry. Jhon has watched some episodes, but I looked to the poster and said, oh my God, another thing, write it down. Tactical Girl, how was working with this multi-talented, of course, you know that people from so many places in this project, and the psychology of this character and this series that we need to watch.
Yes. With Tactical Girl, if I remember correctly, I worked on a couple of episodes with her. She's I'm not remembering her name, who she kind of runs that series, but she...
Julia Lynn? Julia
Lynn? Yes. So she was, and this is, it's the same with High Spirits, with a lot of these earlier series that I worked on. What's very fun about it is that it's not a big production. It's just people who have their passion projects or things that they're interested in working on, and they're able to, they get the bare minimum, and they get camera, they get sound, they get some actors, and a director, and that's it. It's not there's not everything. There's not a set. There's not a sound stage. So it was fun. It's the same with High Spirits, where it was kind of, a bunch of young people just working as hard as they can and as best they can to create something. It was very similar with Tactical Girl with Julia. And, she had her project and she asked me to play a part in one of them. And I did, and it went well. And then a couple months later, I think she called me back and she said, you're great in this one. Can you do another one with us? And I said, sure, that would be, very fun. And I got to play a vegan character, which was very fun because I've been vegan before from time to time. So it's, I know that world, which is fun.
What was the other project that you worked with, Julia? I'm interested.
It was actually, we filmed something that never ended up like going up. It was something that just did, like, my part didn't end up being in it. So it was one of those things where, you do the project and you get to work on it, but then it doesn't pan out. But she's like, you did a good job. We'll call you back to do something else.
I will translate so quickly. Men, un proyecto similar al otro, porque tú sabes muy bien que son proyectos que se hacen por pasión, son pequeños, pero tú sabes el elencazo que hay acá, y lo chévere es que él participó en proyectos, o sea, en capítulos, o sea, con Julia. Acá hay una parte medio triste. Él había hecho otro proyecto con Julia que nunca salió a la luz, pero gracias a ese proyecto, ella le dijo, te necesito en Tactical Girl, y es muy gracioso porque el personaje que interpreta acá es un vegano. Él dice que a veces vuelve a esa práctica, pero que se divirtió. Y bueno, I was writing before this interview to my ex-girlfriend, she's now my friend, asking, it was you or was your father that keep talking about Westinghouse? Because she always say like, oh, Westinghouse, Westinghouse. She answered me, just say, is that a series? Because my father always say that, but I don't know why he say that. Ask your father. That phrase, that word kid in my mind, and I need to ask you, because if that's it, if he was talking about the series, I will contact it later. Tell me more about Westinghouse, man. It was crazy because when I read that, boom, like a memory. Oh my God, her father keep talking about this series. So I need to know because I will be so peacefully now. Finally, I know what is Westinghouse, and I know that you got like a big role, and also you produce. So tell me more about this project, man.
Sure. So Westinghouse is, we didn't intend it to be this double meaning, but Westinghouse is also, I believe, an electrical company. So that's where the name gets confusing, because I've had a few people say, oh, is it Westinghouse? Does it have to do with the, electrical company, the Westinghouse Electrical Company? It does not. It has no correlation. It just happens that the name that we put for the main character, her name is Tiffany Westinghouse. It just happened to be a crossover. So we've got that confusion more than once. But the series, I did it. So my best friend and my roommate, his name is Dorian Keyes. And we worked on that project together because we both wanted to make something. We'd moved to Hollywood. It'd been about 2 years or so of working in the industry. And we were feeling unhappy with, just going out there auditioning. And because I'm an actor, first and foremost, and he's a writer. And so we both wanted to do something together. So we came together to come up with a project, and he wrote it, and I did everything I can to make sure it was happening. I was trying to, this is in terms of the producing, I was, finding people to, like, our DP, like our cinematographer, our assistant camera, our sound. I was making sure we had people, finding locations, and all those things. And then I also got the fortune of acting in it as well, which is always a plus as an actor. But it's a very, I think it's a very good series. It's 5 episodes. It's very similar to a mockumentary style, like The Office, where you have talking heads to the camera. It's all on Vimeo. If you want, I can send you the link afterwards, or I can email you guys. And it just tells the story of because we both grew up in the theater, as less so than film. And so it tells the story of, like, a theater company that's failing. It's very hard to run a theater, and it's showing that world through film. And I get to play an intern character, and I've been an intern before, so it's a world I'm familiar with.
Now I got an story to tell to my ex-girlfriend. Thank God we are friends. Jhon, te voy a decir lo que necesitas oír. Nos va a enviar Westinghouse. Está todo en Vimeo.
Wow.
I'm telling Jhon that
Wow.
you will send us the link to Westinghouse. So Jhon is
Wow.
flipping out. We love series, man.
Thank you.
And I translate it faster. Sí, Jhon, es un proyecto. Aquí lo increíble es que es un proyecto que hicieron entre amigos, o sea, entre roommates. Es un documentario como de Office. Y es más por el hecho de saber que no se encontraban grandes roles, además de que hace el papel de un interno y él ya había sido un interno, o sea, como un interno, tú sabes, ¿no? En el sentido de estudiantil. Yo creo que con decirte que no la va a pasar, no necesitas hacer más nada. Y tengo, okay, and I got the honor to do the next question. It's crazy because now, next to this project you got, we can say in production, like a bigger project. I know it's a small part, but I was reading about the Connors, and it's crazy, man, because you got John Goodman, you got Laurie Metcalf, and tell me more about your little participation or your participation in this project, man, because it's like moving on, yes, to something bigger, but we know, I was talking to Jhon that you will continue moving to even bigger and bigger projects, man. We will talk about later. A Jhon está diciendo que sabemos que va para proyectos mucho más grandes, but tell us.
Of course. So with the Connors, I was lucky enough to be a co-star. And what was very fun about the Connors, it was the first time I was working on a multicam set where, you're playing in front of an audience. On this specific one, my portion was pre-recorded, but it was still very exciting because it's, some projects, some TV projects, you go in on one day, you do your part and that's it. But with the Connors, I got to sit at a table read with John Goodman and Laurie Metcalf and the whole incredible cast. And I was able to do my scenes with Jennifer Grey and Clark Gregg. And what we were able to do was, you read all together on Monday, you rehearse on Tuesday, you rehearse on Wednesday, Thursday we filmed it, and then Friday they did the live show for the sections that they needed to do that for. But what was very fun was getting to, have some time to rehearse, have some time to figure out the comedy, getting to really work with the other actors, as opposed to sometimes it's very quick. It's you're in and you're out, and that's it. This time it gave you some space to breathe and figure out the jokes and the bits. It was my first time doing a TV show of that nature, so it was very fun.
Wow, I was searching because that Jennifer Grey, we will feel really no. My mother grew up in the 80s, so and in Latin America we made. In fact, I really got I need to show you like a very nostalgic T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
For this interview, I will translate faster. Jhon, increíble porque fue la primera vez que graba en un multiset, o sea, con multicámaras.
Wow.
Era un proyecto loquísimo porque todas las semanas se ensayaba, pero se grababa con público en vivo. Y lo más increíble, compartió escenas con Jennifer Grey. Sí, la Jennifer Grey de Dirty Dancing. Yo le estaba diciendo que como que, what? Y que por eso le mostré por eso le mostré la franela, como que andamos nostálgicos y con lo mejor. Es más, aquí me está mirando como que, uy, Jennifer Grey. My mother is on the background and she said, Jennifer Grey? But I got the loot to do the next question because Jhon got the biggest one, the one, we had a joke in Latin America, the question that Latin America is waiting for. But it's crazy because talking about new talents, and I know that when I translate this, all the fanatics from, that Stranger Things is bigger everywhere. And in Latin America, as in US, it's a cult, man. Mm-hmm. And you work with Finn Wolfhard. And it's crazy because we know that this cast is so multi-talented, and it's great to see that he's directing now. And yes, I want to know more about Night Shifts and about working with these new talents that are rompiéndola, como si en Latinoamérica, like we say in Latin America, breaking everything. So tell us, man.
Sure. So, and I'm sure we'll get to this, but I met Finn on the set of Ghostbusters. And so in terms of the timeline of this, I filmed Ghostbusters, we filmed back in 2019. And of course, the pandemic, it delayed its opening, so it only came out this past November. But back in 2019, when we were on the set of Ghostbusters, I became friends with some of the cast, Finn, Billy Brick as well, who's the other actor in Night Shifts. And we just kind of sort of hit it off. The two of them were kind of working on scripts, and they were writing something while we were there. We had we were just reading stuff together. And, we filmed over the course of a month. By the end of the month, when we went back, we were just kind of texting each other, and they said, we have an idea. If you're interested. And I said, sure. And so they, we talked about it for a little bit. They texted me the script. I said, sounds great. And then in February 2020, 1 month before the world shut down, we went to Canada to film it. And it was a great experience. I mean, Finn has a very smart sense directing. And, I think he started working as an actor very young. And so when you grow up around the world of cinema, you are able to kind of collect all the nuances of all the talented people you work with. And so clearly he had a good eye and was able to help me as an actor. There was like a scene I was having a tough moment in where I was not able to figure out what he was looking for. And he was able to come to me and give me the right advice, where he was like, what your character is feeling right now is this. I need you to play this. And I was feeling bad because I was like, why am I not getting this line right? And once he gave me that understanding of what I need to be feeling in that moment, I suddenly had it. And the scene worked well, and it was, it suddenly was funny and it was making sense. And sometimes a director is not very good working with actors. Sometimes a director can be very technical and understand where the camera needs to go, how things are supposed to look, but can't get the actor to give the right performance. But Finn was able to do both. He had a good eye for the camera movement, like the opening shot of Night Shifts is very nice and cinematic, but he's also able to talk to an actor because he's an actor himself. So he knows what psychologically we're going through and how to get us to where we needed to be. So it was a very fun experience. It was good. And I love Billy. I love Finn. So it was great working together as well.
And it's great that this Ghostbusters reunion came out in this. A hi to Billy and Phil. Jhon, vas a morir. Porque este proyecto, si tú lo revisas, no solo está Finn Wolfhard dirigiendo, sino también está Billy Britt. Y Billy Britt también aparece en Ghostbusters. Y obviamente también está Malcolm Sparrow Crawford. Es una locura porque todo el proyecto se dio, o sea, como que, hablemoslo así en términos colombianos, los tres parceros se vieron, dijeron, hagamos algo después de la película, y sucedió justo antes, en enero de 2020, cuando pues ocurrió todo lo de la pandemia. Dice que Finn es una persona que incluso la tiene muy clara, no solo como cineasta, porque hay unas tomas, dice que Night Shift tiene una toma inicial que es bellísima, sí, sino también como director, porque hubo momentos donde incluso hubo problemas con las líneas y él la ayudó, sino que aquí lo que me sorprende y va perfecto para tu siguiente pregunta es que fue la reunión de esa parte del elenco de tu pregunta. Dale.
Es una cronología, porque ahí es donde Jatenjor sigue de Ghostbusters, Afterlife. La tenía que ser, Artoun, porque quiero yo preguntarle desde el tema nostálgico, que es lo más importante, porque eso es sin spoiler, claro, pero Rufus se considera un personaje que va un poco como de curiosidad, conocer más allá, qué hay en ese entorno, qué hay en el mundo. Pero yo te quiero preguntar ¿cuál es tu percepción que tenías al ver la primera Cazafantasmas, la primera película, y estar ya volviendo, que dirige el hijo del director original de la película? ¿Cómo es la experiencia? ¿Cómo es estar en un contexto que diga, mire, estoy acá como Rufus? ¿Qué siente Rufus? ¿Cuál es la realidad de Rufus de lo que aprendiste?
Resuming everything, and Jhon is talking also about talking like in my words, without any spoilers, of course, about your character Rufus. And I had to ask you because Jason Reitman is one of my favorite directors, man. I mean, Thank You for Smoking, Juno, Men, Women, and Children, and everything he has directed up in the air. how was your experience, of course, watching the movies that his father did, those classics, and now being directed by his son in this retelling about the character? Oh no, man, tell us. You know that we love Ghostbusters.
Uh-huh. It was very exciting. I myself was a big fan because, when I grew up, I was a big fan of Ghostbusters. I'd never seen Ghostbusters 2, but I watched it once I found out I was going to be doing Ghostbusters, and I had a fun time with it. And I love I was a huge Jason Reitman fan as well. So it's a little nerve wracking, when you're going to start working with a director who you're a big fan of. You're like, oh, I hope, they like me, and, I hope they're nice and all this stuff. But once we got on set, he was very nice. He is a very, very smart director. I mean, he was just very fun to work with, and was able to keep everyone level-headed and understood what needed to be done, was calm the entire time, and was able to have fun, was able to connect with the cast, never made anyone feel bad, never made anyone feel like, oh, you're here in the cast and some of the cast is here. Everyone was treated equally. And Ivan Reitman was on set as well. And so it was also very nice to watch the two of them working together. Sometimes, they'd go and talk, and, Ivan would be like, I think it should be like this. And Jason's, working on like that. So it should be like this. And it was a very surreal experience. You're watching this pair of directors who are very, very talented and good at what they do. And you're just humbled to be in their presence. And, you hope to the best of your ability to do what their vision is. And, that's what I think as an actor, your goal is to bring the director's vision to life. And so I hope I was able to do that for the film.
For me, it's beautiful that watching this legacy, because I remember once when Jason was nominated to Best Director to the Oscar many years ago, Ivan said that it's great to see my son not only making it, and oh man, I'm just imagining watching those two guys, and that's it. Jhon, con esto resumo todo. Padre e hijo estuvieron en el set. Wow. Y obviamente y aquí lo hermoso más, y evitando los spoilers, porque tú sabes muy bien que es una visión que se viene de la segunda película, tú lo sabes muy bien, eso ya no se necesita decir más nada. Fue muy bacano porque él logró como capturar esa visión, o sea, respetar la visión que tuvo el padre y la del hijo. Creo que con eso digo todo. ¿O quieres algo más? ¿O
no,
hago la
cierra con tu pregunta de oro.
Yes. And now for the big finale. And talking about, of course, projects that are upcoming, I want to ask about, now I don't know in which phases, but the Wrecking Boogie. I want to ask you not only about how was working or more details about this project, but how was working, but Tracy Thompson. I mean, another great actress. We know that, and it's beautiful because we didn't know your background in theater, and Tracy is, Ren. How was working with one of the greatest stars from theater, and now what we can expect from this project as the big finale for this interview that we are so thankful for you.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you. Gracias a ti. Gracias.
De nada.
Gracias. It was a very fun project. I can't speak much to the plot on, it's because it's yet to be released, so it's going to be a spoiler-free version, but it was a very touching project, and it seemed very personal to the writer and the director. And I was working with a bunch of older actors. If you take a look at the cast, it's filled with veterans, people who've been acting for years and years and years. And so you get a chance, so with Ghostbusters, I'm working with a bunch of actors my age or younger than I am. And so you're having a good time, you're with people your age, you're people with, younger than you. There's a certain vibrancy to that. And working with older actors, it's a different experience in terms of you're I'm trying to be present. I'm trying to do my part, but I'm also attempting to learn, see what they're doing, kind of absorb what it looks like for someone who's been in the industry for 50 years to kind of act. And it's fun. It's a different tempo. It was very nice. It's a very touching project. I think when it's released, it'll be should be something very nice.
Aquí lo increíble es que es Artoun con veteranos, con actores, y tú sabes muy bien que pues Tracy Tons, Artoun viene de un paseo del teatro, y tú sabes que Tracy, pues ella ha ganado premios por haber aparecido en Ren, que es uno de los musicales más grandes. Entonces dice que es muy conmovedor y es lo que estábamos hablando, ya él con los grandes, que no me resta más sino felicitarlo, un aplauso.
Sí. Para mí, yo quiero felicitarlo, gracias por esta oportunidad. Yo quisiera pues comentarte esto último, si bueno, de lo que queda de tiempo, un saludo para Colombia, Latinoamérica, y no solo eso, tus redes sociales, y que invites a que se sintonicen y para que vean Ghostbusters, Afterlife, y que no se olviden de sintonizar tus redes, todo.
Okay, before the time is running off, the camera is yours, man. Invite to the people to your social media. A big hi to Colombia, and not only a big hi. It's crazy, I have to tell you. Finally, the theaters are open in Colombia. You know that here it takes more time than other countries for the COVID. And you know that all the nostalgia is out there. In Colombia now, we had in the movies, of course, it comes in the new Spider-Man. Of course, we had Encanto, the Disney movie from Colombia. Yeah. Yes, it's crazy. But I really want, I really hope that doesn't get lost, Ghostbusters legacy here, because we got so many options. But man, invite to the people to Colombia to watch this movie. Tell your social media. Tell a hi, tell whatever you want, man. The camera is yours.
For sure. Yeah, go see Ghostbusters. It's a very fun film. It's I think it's appropriate for all ages. So if like people have, kids, bring your kids. It's fun. It's a good like family film. It's really nice. And still funny, still still comedic. And if you want to follow me on social media, on both Instagram and Twitter, it's Artoun Cartoon, at Artoun Cartoon, ARTOUN CARTOON, Artoun Cartoon. But yeah, I post funny videos sometimes, so, and I try to be funny. So
I need to ask you, because we got time, talking about this crazy name. Do you really dream to do like a cartoon project?
I'd love to. I love cartoons. I would love to do voiceover for a fun cartoon at some point.
As we interviewed before, of course, the last week, an actor that appears on Eternals, an Spanish actor, and we've interviewed even before, to Candy Milo, the greatest, she was the voice for Dexter's Lab and all this. So we really hope that. And no, man, thank you really thank you so much for being here. I don't know if Jhon has some final words. Jhon is saving the picture.
Sí, porque esto es único. Yo solo te quiero decir que miles de felicitaciones también por esta gran oportunidad que estás teniendo. Y bueno, yo te digo, de parte nuestra, como nosotros somos latinos y todo, el día que llegues a ganar un Emmy o un Oscar, salúdanos. Oh, bye, Jhon.
I think you understand, man. No, but we said these two people because we love, man. You know that this channel starts as a small project. It's still small, okay, but we had a lot to interview people that make us say, when you win a video award, man, please remember us. Of course. And we were listening to that. Oh man. I would say none of the awards, but I know that the awards are not important. It's mostly the crap. But please remember us, please. In fact, I want to ask you, this is the first interview that you gave for an international media?
Yes, this is my first international media.
Yes.
So congratulations. Yeah. Number one.
Thank you.
De las 1000 entrevistas que darás, esta es la primera, acuérdate.
Yes, this will be the first international interview that you will get, man.
Yeah, forever. And if anyone asks me, I'm going to say it was Jhon and Andres, my first interview.
Que va a decir, apenas pregunten, sí, fue Jhon y Andrés, la primera entrevista. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. Y bueno, miles de éxito, felicitaciones, suerte con los próximos proyectos.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much and good luck with the next project, man.
Thank you. Gracias.
No,
Adiós.
de nada. Bye. Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Hey, don't forget to follow your son, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.